do what it is, y'all. It's your girl Black Pop, aka Soda Baby, aka Azuka. And you're now tuned in to Soda Talks TV. Soda Talks. For our relationship sector, we're going to be talking about the importance of accepting your dark side, why you should objectify your relationships, and how detachment can actually help you love more. And when it comes to your dark side, one thing I realized, like, on my path, on my journey, and really usually in human nature, when people try to tell you that you can't do something or you shouldn't do it because it's taboo and it makes you curious. It makes you want to do it even more. And a lot of our creativity stems from darkness, stems from having to think up something that hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? So we're going to be talking about those topics. So we're going to talk about, first we want to talk about the importance of your dark side. When it comes to your dark side, everyone, as far as like in society, the only thing people want to focus on is the light, like what's allowed. You know, like, oh, everybody's supposed to be like this, everybody's supposed to be like that. And like certain things about sexuality is shunned. Certain things about socialism is shunned. Certain things about, you know, racism and all those things. They're talked about, but certain things, it's like a little too taboo to speak on. The reason why it's very important to embrace your dark side is because, like, when you embrace, well, I wouldn't say embrace, but just like make peace with it, like give it an outlet, you have power over those things that make you dark. You know what I mean? Like for me, I would say that as far as my dark side, I would say jealousy. I am a jealous person. It is what it is. Even in the Bible, it says that I am a jealous God. So don't try to judge me because I can openly say it and be like, reason why I can say it is because I'm making peace with it makes me understand that, oh, you know, you're not the only person that's good at something. And you can acknowledge when someone else is good at something. You know what I mean? Everybody's talented. And I have to talk about it because especially like when you're trying to be somebody in life and it's like everyone's doing like whatever they're doing and then you feel like, oh, you're not going there as fast enough or your isn't happening. You know, you have to, sometimes you can really feel down because your stuff might be a little slow, but you just have to remind yourself, like, you know, you do have something. And it's like, you're not the only person who's allowed to be successful at something. So it's like, that's one thing I would say that one of my dark attributes is jealousy. Another one I would say is dark of me. I would say that, how do I say it without sounding like a like, I mean, I do like attention. And it's like, if I like attention, I might as well put it to use. I might as well look good while spitting some knowledge. Like, what's the point of, you know, if you're going to be sexy, you might as well, you know, put it to good use. And, you know, I like to show myself off. I like to, you know, dress up. And to society, that may seem like, oh, it may seem like, you know, it may be overly sexual. But, you know, I give it a spin. I give it this platform that I use to dress up, look nice, you know, and, you know, just spit knowledge. The whole point of living is to be the fullest expression of who you are. And to me, what it takes to love yourself is to accept that other side of you, because if you don't accept it and understand it, who else will? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not about, oh, just because you love yourself, be any kind of way, be rude, be brash, no, it's just acknowledging parts about yourself that the world may seem as taboo or just unusual and making peace with it and honestly using it to your benefit. And in society, we're looked down upon because of our dark side. And honestly, the music industry is based off of darkness. You know what I mean? But we love it so much. We love the guns, sex, and violence. And, you know, for some reason, why do we love it? Because it's a part of us. And I feel like that's what it was. Music was made for, a way to rebel against society. You know what I mean? It's just about embracing that side of yourself, because if you don't, it's gonna find its way to manifest on its own. It's gonna come out in ways that you can't control. Like, it's gonna come out in your facial expressions, or it's gonna come out when you're drinking and you just start spilling out how you feel about everybody, you ready to fight, da da da, you know, stuff like that. And a lot of people express their dark side through arts. They express it through violent games and even jokes. Like, what makes a really good comedian to me? A comedian is a truth teller, a person who tells the truth but doesn't laugh at their own jokes. You know what I mean? Bernie Mac was my favorite comedian, and I just love his style of comedy. And I feel like what a comedian does is they tell the truth about life. And it's like, usually what the shock value is a person saying something that is like, oh my God, I can't believe this person just said that. That's why a lot of comedians have to come back and apologize about what they said, because it's kind of offensive, but it was still funny though. Yeah, because you can only laugh at someone slipping on a banana peel only so much for it to become predictable. You know, people need that outlet, whether it's through their favorite artist or whatever it may be outside of themselves. But at the same time, well, that can be your outlet. You know, that's why darkness is necessary for life. And I feel like it's a part of life that we do need to balance. Not totally embrace, because, you know, if the whole world embraced darkness, then it will just be the world is pretty dark as it is. But it's just like, we have to have that balance of good energy and negative energy, I would say. And it's the same reason why Mary J. Blige is the legend that she is today, because of that pain music that she made. You know, she had to be in a dark place in her life for it to emerge that type of art, that type of talent, especially with these rappers too, like NBA Youngboy. I'm in a dark place in my life right now.
I'm still in a dark place inside my life.
Funny. No, but it just is what it is. Unpopular opinion. Am I the only person that like never really liked Mary J. Blige's voice like that? I know she's a legend in her own right, but I never really thought she could sing. Mary J. Blige cannot sing to me. The industry painted a way, they give her the persona. She's just not my favorite type of voice. It's like, I don't know how to. But that's what she gives me. But she definitely has her hits, the fine, fine, fine. And like, so take me as you know I've been holding on. And I know y'all like, oh, talking about, that's why I know I listen to music. I'm gonna get back to it. But you know, like, real. And not only that, it's so sad that that's what life is built off of. Somebody has to get in order for better things to emerge. Like, what is this country built off of? Trading in slave labor, paying people on the pennies of the dollar, and overcharging it when the product is done to other consumers. Like, you know, it just is what it is. And as the world can see, perfect example is the LGBTQ plus community. Like, I resonate with them a lot because I know what it feels like to just feel ostracized, you know, and not really feel like you fit in. And unfortunately, well, no, not unfortunately, fortunately, as this continues to, you know, as we continue to see it, it's just going to be part of life. Like, honestly, when it comes to that, how people like to say, oh, they're pushing an agenda, I guess you would say agenda, but I'm going to speak from my own experience. Like, I remember like being a kid and couldn't like wait for it to get really late at night to watch Girls Gone Wild. And I always knew in the back of my mind that I always wanted a man, but it was something about it. It was like, oh my God, girls. Really, but I always knew in my heart, like, no, I want a man. So I don't really feel like, even with them, you know, being able to be socially accepted now, I don't think it's making kids gay or anything. It's just we have to accept it for what it is, because it's not going nowhere, you know? And that just is what it is. Like, and it's just going, and it just goes to show, even with today, like, it's that dark and light energy, even with sexuality. Like, I know that I'm a masculine woman, you know, but there's certain parts of me that I know, okay, you can relax, you can be feminine. And even with men, like, there's something about femininity in a man that just turns me on. I don't know what it is. It may be the way he carries not carries himself, because I like a man to carry himself like a man. I guess I like the feminine attributes about a man. I like a man who takes care of himself. You know, even certain dressings, even though I be trying to make fun of the dangly earrings, it's still cute to me. I still think it's cute. But, you know, certain things like tight ass jeans with your butt hanging out, that's questionable to me, especially if you have like on bright cheetah print boxer briefs, you know, lime green with the butt lifters. It's like, I'm looking at that. Like, we looking at that. And it's like, dudes can't be mad when gay men look at that, because it's like, your ass is on display. Like, what do you expect? I'm a woman, I look at it. Men are going to look at it, even if they're straight or not. You know, it's just a part of life that we have to make peace with. That's all it is. And another thing, I'll just give you an example. Lucifer. Listen here. I am for the greater good of evolution. But I will say, if it wasn't for Lucifer, you know, when he was in heaven telling God that, you know, I want to be just like you. How can I be just like you? And he casted him out of heaven. We wouldn't have willpower. He gave him the option to stay or go, and he decided, and God casted him out. And if it wasn't for Lucifer, we wouldn't have willpower. And I feel like that's where darkness was created. And he turned into the serpent that was in the Garden of Eden. And Lucifer, the snake, the serpent, told Eve, you know, you can have this apple, you know, what's the difference? You can make a choice. And she made her choice to have that apple. And that's when light and dark was born. Because when Eve ate that apple, she realized she disobeyed God. She realized she made her own choice. God told her, don't eat that apple. You see? And that's where it comes from. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it makes us want to do it even more. You know what I mean? You know, we're going to get into that later. I don't want to mislead anyone to them thinking that, oh, I worship the devil. No. The first person I ever fell in love with was Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, child. But at the end of the day, well, as I grew into my spirituality, I realized that I do have a higher self. And it's bigger than religion. It's bigger than religion. Energy is real. And y'all see how spirituality is evolving and people are leaving the church. However, there is something about Christian music that brings me peace, you know, and I listen to it sometimes when I'm not listening to, you know, worldly music. I listen to my message music because of the message that it has, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, your dark side is necessary. Your dark side can even fuel you to do things in life. Like, it's just like when people be like, oh, you ain't gonna be shit, that fuels a lot of people. Naysayers and negativity fuel people to like, you know what, I'm gonna prove them wrong. And then you do. You know, it's called it's called transmuting energy. You know what I mean? You use that darkness for good. Like, and even with the fact that me being an artist, like, now that I'm seeing like how people are like really turning away from it too, I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm happy, but I'm like, you see, aren't you glad that you didn't only study music, that you studied life and other things to even be able to speak on certain artists because you pay attention to them so much, you know, like how I pick on Nicki Minaj and Asian Doll. I love them so much because I for the love of music that I have and the fact that, you know, I thought I was going to be in a part of that industry one day, and I'm kind of glad that I'm not, because I'm realizing every day the industry is falling down, and it's just like, it seems like the independent artists, no, ain't no seems. independent artists, underground artists are better than mainstream. And eventually, nobody's really going to care about that because it's going to be so cheesy and whitewashed. And, you know, no offense to white people, but still, it's just like, y'all know where y'all got it from. Go Clovers! Go Clovers! Go Clovers! Try to steal like the cheer, but you look like we're the ones who's down with it. You know, even with the TikTok thing, it's like, they gotta go on strike for this. Like, I don't want to get too racy, but it just is what it is. It's just, you know, I don't know how I got here, but it makes sense in a way. This is where I get my negative energy out. I get to speak freely, and it's just like, I ain't gonna hold you. You can't trust a motherfucker that's too happy. A person that's just always happy and you know, don't trust that motherfucker, because eventually when they're gonna have to release it eventually, whether it be behind closed doors, whether it be back when they get back home. You know, you smiling too much, you too bubbly. That person suppresses a lot of dark energies. Pastors, Christians, they have certain things, you know what I mean? People that are like too holy. Like, you have to know they have an outlet some way, somehow. That's why certain pastors be getting caught cheating year after year by the community that they, you know, be sleeping with. Anyway,